Okay, here we are at the Palmer Showcase Garden. It is Friday, July the 17th, 2026. We're gonna do a real quick garden tour because it's just the right kind of weather where everything looks nice and colorful. Anyway, giant cabbages. Giant cabbage, getting a little more giant, perhaps. You'll hear some music. It's the Friday Fling, and there's music, live music for that event every Friday. And headed through, we put some veggies in with the poppies there. And then we come into the arbor area. The sweet peas. The sweet peas are just starting to bloom. Some of the orange ones. And it's gonna be pretty neat when they all take off. Orange and royal maroon, so it's gonna smell quite good too. The silver and purple front box is really growing in and looking nice. It's hard to catch the whole thing, but it's looking pretty good. We're gonna take off a different way this week and start here with artichokes, which are artichoking. Well, not artichoking, but they're getting bigger. It's hard to believe the first things we planted in the garden, June 8th, the first seedlings went in. It was that delayed of a season. So this is the sunflower display with cosmos and other annuals interspersed with all different size sunflowers, from peewee to some of the 6, 7 footers, none of the really tall ones. Okay, back to some of the annuals here in the box. You'll see some of the pots. We've got dahlias in pots. We've got nonstop begonias coming along, and that's the whole berry patch in the back. This is lettuce and other greens. And the Evans cherry trees are just festooned with cherries. Probably about a month, those will start to ripen up. And looking down through the shade beds, I think this is the only one of our shade beds. This is Asian forget-me-not. They make nice little clumps of blue along with alyssum. And this middle is called a Dalmatian peach foxglove. That's the first one to be coming on. And the crabapple trees are just festooned as the cherry. Headed down through our it's a weedy little poppy bed with some sunflowers and other annuals in there. That'll be a bed that's a redo next year. To a sunflower bed that needs some grass redone on the edges, and a mock orange tree that the weather killed. Not all the way though. Had some blooms this week, and we'll chop it down and hope it revives later on. And foxglove shady bed. And back here is one of our, we try to keep them out of the wind and the water. The striped ones are called Salpy glossus, painted tongue. These are examples of Chantilly snapdragons in all different colors. You can see they don't have the little dragon face that traditional snaps have. It's a new variety of snapdragon that has been bred. And this is a particularly nice painted tongue. Okay, try not to be too shocking in my spinning around here, but everywhere you go in this garden, there's fireweed now, the pink stuff, and then Maltese cross, which is another one of our perennials. And it's headed into peony season right now. We've got them all tied up. We have a garden and art fair tomorrow, so have the peonies tied up for their life because it's rain. The rainy season has come early, so we'll be having rain probably. It looks for the foreseeable future. It's getting a little old. It's already been a week of rain, and they show 10 more days, so not what you expect from July. Headed through some of the perennial beds. This is called Meadow Sweet. It's prolific in this garden, a little too prolific. That's the common kind. And we have a taller kind called Queen of the Prairie, which is pink. It won't come into focus. Anyway, it's a big pink bloom, and when they're coming together, they look just great. This is a salvia bed with a bright planted pot. We have pots all around the garden. This one is an amaranth pot with some red ropes, green ropes, and another kind of amaranth at the bottom with a salvia. Try to put some creative things around the garden in areas that maybe need a little work. We try to cheer them up with a pot of something that people can pay attention to instead of the things that need work. This is one of the peony beds. It has this purple monster. It's called Big Betony. It's in the mint family. It doesn't taste or smell minty, but it's a nice flower. Shows up in a lot of places in the garden. As we say, it fills a space, and you can see some of the peonies coming on here. This one, I'm not sure of the variety of this one, but it has opened fully. And this is kind of a nice bed behind us here. It's black cohosh is a pretty plant, in and along this purple bell is comfrey. And those are a nice perennial display together. So yeah, coming around the perennial bed here, more of the Big Betony. And this is a splash of painted daisy, always eye-catching. And here in one of our metal rings, we have shoe fly and some osteospermum, Marguerite daisies, that will be popping up in here soon. This one is Dalmatian peach foxglove with a little snapdragon here called a twinnie. And the twinnies too are a roughly open snap, not your traditional kind of turtle head snapdragons. Another presentation it'll be of Dalmatian peach foxglove. And you can go through this perennial bed. Lots of the gold is a golden queen trolleus. It's the late season trolleus, basically big giant buttercup. And then here is Benton's potatoes. Benton's potato beds. Some of the buckwheat that we used as a cover crop last year is coming up to join the potatoes again this year. So a little more buckwheat to dig into the soil to give some nutrients. These are rugosa roses. Kind of nice display. They need to be cut a little shorter, a little bit renovated. There's some bare wood in there. We need to work on those at the end of the season. Large stand of fireweed. And we're coming up through what we kind of call the meadow. This area is shaded out a little bit. It gets a little bit of Maltese cross growing in it. A lot of grass, but we're calling it the meadow and leaving the grass in it. Have a few holes here where we lost some things. We have to decide what perennials we might put back in these areas where we had some winter kill in the hard winter this year. But this right now is the star of the garden. It's a peony called the Duchess de Nemours. Nice French name for such a beautiful lady. It's a really nice peony, and it is the only one of the peonies in the garden that has survived since the inception of the garden in 1988. So it's a big plant. It's about 5 feet tall. And we've got her all tied up for the garden fair tomorrow. So if the rains do what they say, it won't knock her down. Panning through the perennial colorful mess here in the first bed, fronted by this beautiful large fern. So pretty colorful. It's a nice colorful time of year. And made a little path through the garden so people can travel different places. Oh, this is a peony called a raspberry sundae. It's a pretty nice one. As everyone says, I wish you could smell it. And this is looking down the other way through the perennials into the next perennial bed behind it. It's about the most colorful season here in the garden. It will be for the next 3 weeks. And even though it's gray and dark, it kind of sets off all these colors. And these here are the raspberries. They're coming along nicely. The raspberry patch, this is our healthy, happy raspberry patch. We have 3 of them, but the tourists and locals are going to be having fun eating raspberries soon. Okay, we'll end here on the silver and purple box. Those white things, they're a type of Dusty Miller, a Senecio called an angel wing. They're super popular in the nurseries this year with some other silvery things and a little purple petunia called a tie-dye that's white with purple. All right, everyone, we'll pan slightly through. And I'm looking for the mountain. The mountain's not out today, so anyway, Palmer Showcase Garden, July 17, 2026. Thanks for coming.